Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Black Desert Online. I'm your host, wildly inappropriate here. So I'm actually been really sick. Welcome back to this video, and today is just gonna be about horse taming. This shouldn't be too long. I'm just gonna go over the basics here and sort of just things to look for in the future. Right now, I'm just gonna go to a horse area that's kind of familiar and popular with most people who do horse taming in Dregan. It's actually just south of the village here. Horses can be found pretty much everywhere across the world. You want to get some capturing rope. If you're low level, I would also highly suggest getting a lump of raw sugar to take with you. A lot of horse trainers say it's completely useless. I've actually had much more success at lower levels with a lump of raw sugar than without. For jumping on the horse, it might act like other horse trainers might say it's actually useless because they're so high level. As you get higher training levels from horse taming, your percentage to get on top of a horse immediately increases. But it's all fixed by a 30-second timer. So generally you probably want to hotbar your capturing rope when you're actually doing this. And there's a 30-second timer from when you latch onto a horse. So count from 30 there. The foot reel up like that is about 5 seconds. And then the distance that I walk from where I latched on the rope to the horse is about another 5 seconds. Obviously, this wrestling minigame is 10 seconds, so we're already looking at about 20 seconds there. And if it jumps up on its hind feet again, that's pretty much going to be 30 seconds and it's all set to go, and you just jump on and hop here. But it didn't jump up a second time, so now I gotta wait about like 10 seconds or something, and I'm just going to use my recording timer there. Generally, I used to have a timer on my phone, but after doing it so many times, it's like a science to me now and just completely robotic. So you just jump on this, and there we go. Once you jump on it, you pretty much marked your territory and claimed your territory. Somebody decides to actually come and flag on you and kill you in trainer's clothes, you can just say goodbye to their karma. I don't know why anybody would do it. It's completely idiotic unless they love losing 280,000 karma. So once you get on it, you can literally just start charging back to stable keeper as fast as you can. I don't have my Pegasus with me right now, otherwise I would have just blasted off to the stable keeper. The horse will follow you once you get on it, even though it doesn't look like it's going to. Trust me, it will. And that's pretty much it for the basics of capturing a horse. Horses themselves, in terms of their tier, are not random in the field. You can easily identify them after doing it for a while. Every horse that you come across, whatever skin or pattern that is on it, pretty much dictates what tier it is. In Dregan, there's mostly tier 4s and tier 5s, and Kama Sylvia, there's like T1s to T5s. Some areas that they're like all over the world, really, so you just have to know sort of where to look. Eventually, like when you just run into T5s in the main world, I've noticed that they actually generally have better skills, but I don't really know. I could have just been lucky. And sometimes you could just pick up like 1.6 mil or something, or you could pick up a very garbage horse like this that's only 200k. I don't really care too much. It's not really something you should be expecting huge money for. You just more or less capturing these for a starting point to train your horses overnight. When you get higher training level, you generate more EXP per tick when you ride your mounts overnight. If you run wagons overnight, you actually generate more EXP over time than you do as a single horse. But then again, single horses, they also level up much faster. Like we're talking about almost like 2 times to 2.3 times faster, depending on if you even have gear on it, which could help its AFK running speed, which means you also tick faster, you also move faster, and you also generate more EXP faster, and it's not split 4 ways. That's the benefit of that. So when you reach like high horses like T8 horses or T7 horses, when they get to like level 25 or 26 or something, they take like forever to level up on a wagon. So those are times where you might actually want to get off your wagon and start running those horses one by one. Breed horses at higher tiers. Generally, I go at about like 15 and 15. Or I go about equivalent levels of 15 and 15. The other magic numbers were like levels 19 and 19 and 23 and 23. And then when you get to T7s and T8s, it's like a combined level of 55 or something for the highest percentage. And beyond that, you don't really need to bring it further than that. I might be wrong on some of those, but that's the rule I've been following, and I haven't had too many problems, and I've had pretty good success with spawning a bunch of T8s. They're all sitting in my Grana storage that are just waiting to be ran. T7s, T8s. Like, I have all these T7s here. A bunch of T6s, which I follow the same rule of what I just said earlier. I have way too many T7s. So yeah, I've pretty much become a horse rancher. I've got like I've got 2 more T8s over here. 3 more T8s, okay. So yeah, it's just like, I pretty much just really became like a horse rancher and kind of stopped most of my other life skills. It is actually very, very hard to level up once you get to like about Artisan 5. And one of the other things to look out for is the Manos gear that comes up in the horse mastery that comes later. Manos gear helps with horse riding on solo riding. It'll help with wagons a little bit, but not very much, I suspect, because mastery, it'll raise the mastery, but the riding crop gives like stats that help solo riding a lot more. So currently wagon running is actually better, but then eventually later when the Manos gear and the horse mastery comes, I believe that solo running a horse is actually better overnight and just doing one horse at a time every night. Because it increases the auto running speed by quite a bit and also gives some other bonuses. And then I also made sure to see if it turned the horse trainer clothes to be obsolete or not. And I pretty much determined it won't be. It's mostly you want high horse mastery when you do breeding, and when you have high horse mastery when you do breeding, like just wear all your horse mastery equipment, for instance, and then go into stable keeper and then breed your horses like that. Don't do it without it, and that should give you a better chance at spawning higher tiers. So whatever you know now, everything will be better later in terms of chances to spawn better horses. Also, when you get to higher levels, I think at about like Artisan or Master 1, you get like a 15% tax reduction on selling horses in the market, and for Imperial 2, I think. I don't really know. I haven't actually looked at that. I should have. But I do know that it does reduce the tax that you get slashed on when you sell horses on the horse market. So something like this for 274 mil, if I sold this at beginner 1 and collected the money on a beginner 0 character, I would have taken a 35% tax loss for no reason. If I pick it up on this tamer, she will only be taxed about 15% of what the horse is worth rather than 35%. At Guru 1, I believe it's 30%, so it's fully like, you get the full price of your horse. So to me, that sounds like a nice, long, super duper forever goal that may never happen to get there and become a horse master. But that's kind of one of the few things. Another thing about breeding is if you breed 2 coursers together, this might actually make T1s and T2s and T3 horses actually worth leveling up. If you breed 2 coursers together, they'll have 100% chance, I think, to actually pass off one of their skills to the newborn horse. If only one of them is a courser, then it's like it's not a 100% chance, it's like a 50, I think, or like a partial chance for a skill to be passed off. And why this is important is because when you spawn a new horse, and if it happens to be a higher tier than the 2 horses you combine, higher than both of them, like a T6, T7 or whatever, and they start with 2 skills, and if RNGesus decides to bless you with his sneeze or whatever, you could spawn a new horse with 2 skills, and one of them could be like sprint at level 1 or something, or instant accel, or S sideways, or like on a stream, one of the T6s I was running, the first level it got at level 2, it learned 2-seater, and everybody was like, what the shit? Like, those are some of the rarest skills. Like, the most rare skill is sideways and S sideways. I've always had a hell of a time trying to get those, and even just using reroll coupons, like, much regret, is a terrible RNG to learn S sideways and sideways. Those are the hardest things to learn. Instant accel and sprint are about as equally as hard to learn. Drift and charge, I've actually ran it and learned that on horses multiple times. So they are different percentages to learn the skill. I think training level also affects the percentage of skill gain on horses. So like it gets a better chance. It's not guaranteed. It's just that you get better odds for it to learn a skill as you level up. Because I've sort of noticed that between one character and another. Other than that, though, I mean, it doesn't say that, but I don't know why it doesn't. And that's pretty much it in terms of horses. Locations, you can find them pretty much everywhere. There's like some in Trent. There's like some like right over here by Old Wisdom on the way to Grana. There's like horses right outside Portaferia. It's actually really nice to go tame those because it's so close to the stable keeper. There's a few out somewhere like along this forest edge here. I remember there's also some in the Velia fields, like right over here too. By the castle up here. There's a few just south of Tariff over here. And they're pretty much everywhere. You just have to actually like just look around. There's even some like up in the like Shakatu area, like somewhere over here by the Gahaz in the hills, somewhere over here. I've actually seen them there before. I was like, what the hell? So that's horse taming in a nutshell, guys. So I hope this helped you out. And something to keep an eye out for. Definitely Manos will be better later on for horse training, I believe. The mastery won't make these current horse trainer clothes obsolete, so don't worry if you got a +4 or a +3, your efforts are not wasted. They will still help a lot for AFK training because horse mastery Manos gear mostly helps with the breeding and the capture chance, whereas raising the chance for more Mount EXP for AFK running still holds more weight on the trainer clothes than the Manos gear. But the Manos riding crop, that thing also helps your AFK training by a lot just because it helps the speed, the auto running speed up by like 50% or something. Anyways, I'll catch you all later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye for now. I gotta get healthier and peace.